One.
What up, everyone? Thank you so much for joining us. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co-host Andrew. Don't get it twisted, Lapache, and this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you so much for joining us. Literally, as I hit record, my camera starts to do the damn thing that it does. So, of course, it wouldn't quite be a show without my camera acting up. But regardless, thank you so much for stopping by, listening to us here on this magnificent Sunday evening post Canelo Crawford, which is going to probably take the majority of our time here because we got a lot to talk about when it comes to that. But I definitely want to start off by saying thank you, everybody who tuned into our YouTube channel. So all the videos that I posted are specifically all the shorts because I did a whole bunch of shorts, and that helped our subscriber numbers go through the roof. So we appreciate you guys. If you guys enjoy what you're seeing, sorry, my nose is like itchy as a motherfucker now, but if you guys appreciate and watch videos, or we appreciate you tuning in to catch all of those. So if you like it, of course, I will do my best to continue posting these kind of shorts. I never really thought about posting shorts until just recently, but it seems to have done quite the job for our YouTube channel. So thank you so much for everything, because we did surpass the number that we initially thought we are gonna, and that definitely helps us out quite a bit, and that is always something that's very appreciated. So I will try my best to give you guys as much more content that I can do that. So I definitely want to start off the show by saying I appreciate that, of course, and I hope you enjoyed the content. I'm gonna get better equipment because I realized that some of my sound didn't sound that great because I went to that boxing expo and that noise was obnoxiously loud. But we got plenty to talk about. Primarily, of course, the aftermath of Canelo Crawford. And that's going to take up probably most of it because that's most of the news that took place this weekend. In addition to other things like possible signing, or it looks like possible signing of two other fights that we will get to here momentarily. But before we get into all of that, and in fact, before I bring in my co-host Andrew here, starting off the show on a bit of a somber note, we read/heard this morning of the untimely passing of one Ricky the Hitman Hatton, which was sad whenever we hear this, right, from guys that we, even though we don't know them personally, we hear about them, we see them on the TV, and it's almost like we feel like we know them, right? We watch them on the 24/7s, and I remember it for some reason. Diego Corrales, when I heard about Diego Corrales, I'm like, oh gosh, it like really freezes you, you're like stunned for a second, and you feel like you know the person, even though you really don't know them on like a first name basis, but we're so familiar with seeing them on TV, and it just feels like you know them. And when they have these untimely passings, it's kind of it jolts you, kind of gives you a reality check, really, of how fragile life can be sometimes. So unfortunate passing of one Ricky Hatton. As I mentioned before, I bring in Andrew. I'm going to read off this quick little article that I read here online. Ricky Hatton, former world boxing champion, dies at 46. Ricky Hatton, former world champion whose Rose became one of the most popular fighters in the sport, died at the age of 46. He was found dead in his home in Greater Manchester. Britain's Press Association reported on Sunday. Police said that we're not treating the death as suspicious. And this is a quote. Officers were called by a member of the public to attend I don't know how to pronounce that, Beauclerc Road, Hyde. These are all his street names, at 6:45 a.m. today, where they found the body of the 46-year-old man. Greater Manchester Police said in a statement they are not currently believed to have any suspicious circumstances. So, unfortunately, the untimely passing of Ricky Hatton, we have a lot of fond memories of him. The few times that he did fight here in Vegas, I went to some of the weigh-ins, and the fans that were there cheering him on, there was like some of the hardcore fans. I mean, we're talking 11 a.m., waiting for the weigh-ins, to be led into the weigh-ins, and they're already like drunk and plastered and everything, and these guys are just party guys, man. I'm like, fuck, these guys are loyal as hell, flying way the hell over here to see their beloved Ricky Hatton. And it's seriously unfortunate when stuff like this, when we read stuff like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring in Andrew now. Andrew, what's going on, dude? I know it's a bit of a somber note to start off, but we did just read about this morning, so we want to make sure that we talk about it here on the show. So to bring in, how you doing? And unfortunate news here right off the bat.
Yeah, it's not a way we wanted to start off the show, but it's the right thing to do. Hatton, a legend, Hall of Famer, one of the best of our era, as far as just his rise to the top, and really the big fight with Floyd. Is one of the I think it's probably the best fight I'd ever been to live. I was at Hatton versus Floyd, and
As a member of media or a spectator?
Media. No, I was sitting. Hey, I'm sitting behind Burt Sugar for that fight.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, actually, Burt Sugar actually schooled me because I was getting a little bit fanly in the media tables. I guess I was cheering too much. They booed our national anthem, Miguel. So it set it off, man. Had nothing to do with Floyd, but no, that whole week was just an awesome week. Like you said, I was at the Arango fight too. Me and Lee were actually at the one Arango fight together. Great atmosphere. His fans were always cool. Look, they talked a lot of shit. But really never seen them fighting. Never seen them getting out of hand, right? It was all good, friendly talk. I'm sure if you took it there, they wouldn't mind going there. I'm not saying that they were weak fan base, but they did it in good play, right? Good sportsmanship. But they did talk a lot. Then Ricky kind of always delivered for them, even in his defeats. The guy was face first and very exciting to watch. Fought two of the best fighters of our era. Three. Matter of fact, it's three. I know the Manny fight, I know he's a shell of his former self in that one. But, I mean, when you think of Zoo, Mayweather, and Pacquiao, you don't get too much harder opponents than those three guys, right? So he took on three of the greatest that have ever stepped in the ring. So, yeah, no, rest in peace to Ricky Hatton. Sad news. And just sucks to start off the day like that.
Yeah, really. And as of right now, of course, there's no information other than comments and in the most of the online posts and forums in regards to the fashion or the manner, the cause of death. As of right now, everything is just purely speculation. So we're not entirely sure. And it's much easier to just I know it's easier to just say what you think and then off goes a rumor, right? Easy as it does on the internet. But we're going to refrain from that because we don't know the circumstances behind it. So we're going to wait until see what pops up, what information pops up. So hopefully we get some of that information here and then within the next week or so, which usually doesn't take too long. But we'll find out, I'm sure, in short time. Yeah.
Besides Chavez, I don't know if there was another fighter that was attached more to his fan base than Ricky Hatton. I mean, Ricky, remember when he used to walk out when they would sing that song?
Blue Moon.
They were definitely connected with him. Yeah, it was tremendous fan base he had.
Yeah, and if you guys recall, I don't know if you guys heard or recall reading recently, but his son, who was also a boxer, recently retired. Things weren't going the way he wanted, I guess, in his career with a loss. I'm not sure if he had two losses, but I know he had one for sure, and then decided to call it quits. So we don't know what's going on if that had anything to do with it to any degree. But I remember reading that recently. So sucks, and it sucks that we start off the show on this, but we definitely wanted to bring it to light, of course, because we want to make sure to mention the legends as he was, and make sure to keep their name alive, right? Because we're never going to forget. That Sioux fight was something else. I definitely remember that one to this day. But rest in peace, Ricky Hatton. Condolences to his family and his friends in this time of need, because of the circumstances here. So, R.I.P. Mr. Ricky Hatton. All right. So, no secret. I don't know if you guys knew there was a fight last night here in Vegas. In case you guys didn't hear, it was pretty big. Pretty big. It turned out to be pretty dope. If you've been living under a rock over the last week or months, I should say, because this was announced some time ago. Terence Bud Crawford defeated Canelo Alvarez by unanimous decision, which, if I'm not mistaken, is exactly what Andrew said on our final predictions. When we're right, we're right, and we're wrong, we're wrong. I was convinced that the way I had predicted it was going to go down that way. The fight was going to go down that way, but it's one thing to be wrong, but it's one thing to be like really wrong. So, immediately after the fight yesterday, or the decision, I had my fair share of humble pie, and that is fed to me by all the comments on everything that I read online about how I told you so's left and right. And I mean, you got to give them the credit when they call it, they call it. And in this particular case, as Andrew did, so it was quite the humble pie, as we say, with Canelo Alvarez suffering his third defeat, right? It's Bivol, Floyd, and not that order, but so that was what went down last night here at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. We're going to talk about a lot of things in regards to that, because that's going to probably take most of our time here. But first and foremost, Andrew, the scorecards. I suspected things were going to be a little fishy. I thought maybe we were going to have something going on, and as I mentioned, I had one referee in my prediction. I had one judge going to give the fight a draw. It turns out AI backed me up there. There was this AI post of calling it 114-114. That was not the score, mind you, but nonetheless, Andrew, what was the first thing that you thought of, or what first came to mind? Number one, when you heard the decision, and number two, when you heard the scorecards.
Miguel, when I heard the scorecards, I kind of thought that the fight was in going Terence. I was never afraid that Terence Crawford was not going to get the decision at the end of this fight. So I really wasn't paying attention to them. I just wanted to make sure there was no draw, right? So when I heard them, to me, it's like whatever. They're going to keep it close because they want both guys to be able to move on, right? They don't want to be like what everyone was kind of acting like it was. Maybe Canelo won 2 to 3 rounds in that fight and lost everything else. Early, I had the fight closer than they did. Of course, I did not agree with the 6-0 or 7-1, whatever that guy had. Ringside's did not agree with that card, but I knew Crawford was ahead. I knew Crawford had won the fight at the end. So as soon as I heard the cards were no draws, no funny business, right? It was a unanimous decision. I kind of knew it was Crawford's way. So I didn't really pay attention to go afterwards and go, hey, what rounds did they give Canelo? I'm a big fan. As long as they get it right, I don't kind of care what the cards were. Even when they give me that draw bullshit, as long as the majority decision, or no, not draw, the majority decision one. As long as the majority decision is in the favor of the right guy who's supposed to win the fight, then whatever. Let one judge give it to the other guy. So that's where I was on that. Yeah, no, I really wasn't. I thought Terence had done way more than enough to secure that victory. I mean, hell, it looked at the end there that Canelo started acting like when he was 23 and started getting mad again. I mean, he was getting frustrated at the end of that fight all over again. So, yeah, that's how I felt.
It looks like on 2 judges, well, I should say 3 judges, but they all gave Terence the 10th and 11th round. And I'm sorry, the 11th and 12th, I meant to say the 11th and 12th, the final 2 rounds. And it looks like on the 2 scorecards that were 115, 113, he kind of needed them to get the victory. Otherwise, it probably could have been a draw. Any one of those rounds going to Canelo, then it would end up being a draw on both of them. But on these the scorecards, which are probably closer than what most people saw, the 116, 112 one, it looks like that one is probably a little more realistic, which even then is still kind of generous. But it looks like he needed those. he needed one of those rounds to get a draw, and then two to actually get the victory. So I get what you're saying. When as long as the right guy gets the victory, even in the majority decision, but when it's this close, sometimes I'm like, we need to take a close look at this fucking judge because he might have got it right this time, even as close as it was, but next time around he might not get it right and fuck somebody over. But I get what you're saying. Like ultimately, as long as the right guy wins, and really, the fact that he won in that fashion, the scores don't really matter because we saw how he ended up winning in the fashion that he did. So it was it wasn't close in our eyes. It was a lot more for like more distance, or I guess further away from one another as far as the scorecards go. So um, that's kind of the first thing that I noticed, that I realized that he needs or according to the judges, they needed the last two rounds. I saw a lot of fighters reacting to it right online. The Ryan Garcias, the Timothy Bradleys, the Teddy Atlas having this like great win. Did you when you saw them? Did you see or have you seen any of those like fighter reactions? The Oscar De La Hoyas, right? Those ones. Did any of those kind of piss you off a little bit? Like, come on, bro. Like, I don't know. Sometimes when I hear some of these guys in the reaction, it's like, man, these are. I mean, again, maybe they were right, but fuck, they were haters, man. Goddamn, how haters they come across when they celebrate this way.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Sometimes guys, yeah, they're haters. Basically, I was gonna say jealous, but isn't that the same definition? Canelo's had some big paydays, right, against opposition that were pretty beatable, and he's been the face of one of the biggest fan bases that this sport carries, right? And maybe there's guys that think that his money, he was making a little too much money for who he was fighting in the very end here, and we talked about it. There was a lot of guys that I think Canelo rubbed wrong on this one because of the way he was being sort of disrespectful about Terence Crawford's record, his accomplishments in the sport. Who have you beat? Who have you beat? Dude, with one win, it seems like Terence Crawford moved past everybody. And those are some incredible stats they were naming off about the first time in a 4-belt era that we have a 3-time undisputed. It's only the second time since Henry Armstrong that someone has won 4 divisions, 2 belts in 4 divisions, something like that. I don't know if you heard all the stats that Terence Crawford nailed off last night, but they were pretty impressive.
I remember hearing about the one from going from 135 to 168, that stuff like that, right? But I mean, and then one was about, I mean, what I've read online has been, oddly, a lot of haters on Terrence's side too. Talking about like, oh, I think people are making a big deal out of this victory, yada yada. I was a little concerned about that when after the fight, because you've said it many times before. Timing, it means a lot in life, right? Sometimes it's just about timing. And maybe this was the perfect time for Canelo to lose, to be right off into the sunset, right? I don't know if I would say pass the torch per se, because again, Terence is 38, so it's not like he's really going to carry the torch for a decade or anything like that, because is probably out the door in the very near future. So I'm not sure if there's really was a passing of the torch anyway. But what I kind of was concerned about is they were going to diminish this win from Crawford's, like make less of it, because Canelo's on the way out anyway, kind of thing. Like, no, don't do that. You're like, yeah, probably. And yeah, it wasn't the same Canelo that we saw in previous years, the knockout over Kovalev and his run at super middleweight when he unified all the belts. But it's like, people still were having a hard time beating him. The only time he had lost prior to this, or I guess it's when he moved up to 175, right? When he lost to Bivol, and then, back years ago. But really, besides that, it's like maybe there were some signs of decline, but and this was again the perfect time for Crawford to come in and do it. But even if this fight had taken place 2-3 years ago, will we have had the same result?
Probably not. But that's all water under the bridge at this point.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is I don't want to make less of his victory.
Well,
people are going to say that he was on the way out anyway, Canelo.
I don't know if they can do that anymore. Look, I don't like how everyone takes away the Spence fight from him now. All of a sudden, Spence wasn't the fucking big fish in the waters at that time. All of a sudden, he wasn't the number one guy and wasn't on the pound for pound list and wasn't supposed to be the fighter that was going to take over Floyd at welterweights. All that went away. Why? Obviously, on the behind the scenes, people know that Errol Spence had went through a lot of things in his personal life that had him set back. But wasn't he undisputed? Didn't he come back and have numerous victories after these car accidents? Wasn't he still proclaimed the guy at the welterweight division? Then he gets fucking smacked, dominated by Terence Crawford. And everyone's like, oh, no, he wasn't shit. No, it wasn't shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I was almost concerned this was going to happen the other way around, too. Like, even if Canelo had beat Crawford, I think they were going to have the same reaction off. Like, I told you Crawford was going to,
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you. They've always... remember, this is a guy who had to fight his way into even getting fights. You know what I mean? Like, he had to wait how long on the outside? No one really had his back. No fan base really had his back. You didn't see the PBC going, nah, man, you guys are suckers. That dude Terence Crawford's badass. You need to fight him. You didn't see anyone writing like that. Instead, they're like, yeah, he is on the road side of the street. Fucking Uncle Tom working for Bob Arum. Yeah, we're working for Al Heyman over here. These dudes are smart over here. Hey, you guys, are any of them Terence Crawford? None of them became Floyd. Are any of them Terence Crawford this morning?
And none of them are Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Not the Danny Garcias, not the Spences, not the Thurmans, not the Porters. Sorry. They did stuff, but to say, what Crawford did, no.
Guess Terence was smart for staying with that Jewish guy, that Bob Arum guy, right? Look at where he's at today.
I actually wanted to ask you about that. That was kind of one of the other topics on here. Did Top Rank and Bob Arum kind of fuck up? Because this could have been them. No, this could have been after his fight with Porter. I believe that was the last fight that he had with Top Rank. He goes and does the one-off with BLK Prime or whatever, and then came the Spence fight, and then this, no more than a few fights back, 3 or 4 years, had Top Rank been with him or stuck with him and figured out, now I know they also had their other, what is the word, spats outside of the ring and in the legal field, court battles and stuff like that, right? But I mean, damn it, we've talked about Top Rank and the position that they are now. A lot of fighters, and this is common, right? Fighters get to a certain height and money, and then they just leave their promoter. Floyd did it, Andre Ward did it, De La Hoya did it. So it's not like that. That's not unheard of by any stretch. But if Bob Arum and Top Rank had just stayed with him a little bit longer, they would be there. This would be them. This would be like, Top Rank and whoever, De La Hoya or whomever the fuck it was, Canelo, whatever, Riyadh season. But did they kind of drop the ball with Terence here?
They did, Miguel, but it's not really Top Rank's fault. Look, I didn't like last night how Max, I think it was Max Kellerman, was saying that Floyd Mayweather ruined the sport. Floyd Mayweather ruined the sport, but only to a certain degree. The guy that really ruined the sport was Al Heyman. Al Heyman came in and started giving funny money to a lot of these fighters, right? And it stalled the other promoters to get their guys fights because they couldn't match these bogus, blown-up numbers that Al Heyman was generating because he was writing his own checks. He didn't give a shit about views. He didn't give a shit about pay-per-view buys. The guy had $700 million of investors' money that he was able to spend on himself, basically. He was going shopping in his own fucking store, Miguel. You know what I'm saying? He had his own credit card, and he was going shopping in his own store. And because of that, he was able to overpay fighters. So when Bob Arum and De La Hoya and all these guys came to the table and was like, all right, can we work together? Can we get a fight? Oh, yeah, well, my guy makes $5 million when he fights Joe Blow on Fox. So now he needs to make $10 million if he's going to fight your guy. And like, wait a minute. You guys didn't even sell any fucking tickets. No one even watched that. Oh, it doesn't matter. That's what we make. Big ballers over here. Big baller. We're balling. Right? Mm-hmm. And so Bob really couldn't do shit. He was stuck. You can't just print. They didn't have money to print like PBC was printing over there. right? Stealing. They were robbing people. They basically were robbing people. We all know it because he tried to get sued for that fucking money back. That's how bad he was doing over there in those investments. So it was really Al Heyman. And really, that's why it's not Bob's fault why he stalled out. Look, he started fucking up when he couldn't get Pacquiao and Terence Crawford made. That's when all this starts. You know what I mean? That's when the decline of Top Rank with Terence Crawford's career started at that point right there when they couldn't nail that fight down. And it's always been about money. And no, I don't blame Bob Arum. I think Bob Arum's a smart man, probably kept his company afloat where one PBC might still be floating, but it's like on a life raft right now, right? The boat is gone. They threw the raft in the ocean and are swimming on that right now. Where Top Rank is
they're
probably
calling Mayday right now.
yeah, where Top Rank's probably cruise right by on their yacht. Don't got a lot of people, but Bob's still got a yacht, right? He's still cruising by. And that's the difference of one made it and the other guy didn't. Now, I'm sure Al Heyman's rich. Sorry to all you PBC guys. I'm sure he's not hurting all those double end deals he did, but that's the difference between the two. So, yes, I would say that while Top Rank sort of dropped the ball, it was not their fault. There was really nothing they could do at this time. They couldn't overpay with money that wasn't there. PBC was paying guys with money that wasn't there. And that's the difference.
Yeah, because I thought about that. I was like, damn, especially, I mean, if that would have happened, I don't think Top Rank would be in the position that they were right now, right? I mean, we've seen it with now Teofimo Lopez and having his issues with
Miguel,
with Top Rank and Shakur.
Miguel, they missed the biggest fight that they created. They missed them twice. They missed De La Hoya fucking Mayweather. That's Bob Arum's baby. Those two guys straight rip him off from that fight, act like he's the bad guy and go make the money on their own. Then he misses Floyd versus Pacquiao. That's his baby too.
Yeah.
Kind of dirty. Kind of dirty.
Yeah, that's what happens. Unfortunately, in the fight game. But because I thought about that, I'm like, damn, if only Top Rank was still here, shit, it would be good. So the victory. Now we can talk about the fight itself here. I was watching the fight. I was in the middle of scoring it, but I'm like, once I got to a point, I'm like, man, fucking Canelo's getting fucked. Fuck this scoring shit. God damn it. You know, I just stopped. I'm like, he's not going to win this one. I was hoping for like some sort of last minute KO or even knockdown. But once that happened, I was like, God damn it. Fuck this. I'm out of here. So I didn't even finish scoring this. But the scorecards, the 116, 112 is probably the one that I think is good. Close, I should say. Again, even that one's kind of generous. But it just seemed like Canelo. Again, I don't want to take away from Bud's win here, but yeah, I mean, people have been saying this, you know, Canelo isn't the same anymore, right? He's not taking people out. His legs aren't the same anymore. It was obvious that he was being able, even though his head snapped back a few times, I don't think he was ever really seriously hurt. You know, Terence did what we thought he wasn't going to do, was box. And I'm already seeing a whole bunch of comments on posts about how he ran the whole fucking time and everything. It's like, God damn it, these people, you can never please them. But he boxed, you know, and the times that he planted his feet. And there are times where I was thinking, I wonder if Canelo maybe underestimated the reach advantage. We knew that from the beginning, right? We saw their stats and we knew that he had the reach, but there were a few times where Canelo would lean back expecting to not get hit, and Crawford was still able to catch him or something. And I know the reach wasn't that much more, but it seemed like it was enough for Canelo to like not lean back far enough to get out of the punch and out of the way of the punch. And the few times that he had Crawford close, it didn't seem to be able to hurt Crawford. It didn't look like the punches. I mean, again, a lot of them were blocked, right? A lot of those kind of wide punches that where he turns the hand, kind of drives the knuckles in. Crawford was able to basically nullify that. He blocked every single one of them. There was no real point where Canelo had Crawford up against the ropes or anything like that. I mean, he himself was up against the ropes a few times, if I remember correctly. And the weight just really wasn't a thing. And I was so convinced that it had to have affected somehow. I mean, even in Crawford's body, he did not look big. It looked like he just looked like maybe a 154 pounder or something like that, and maybe at most 160. But when I saw that he weighed in at 167, I was like, what the fucker does not look like one? Does he have rocks in his pocket or some shit? I don't know. But he was able to take all of Canelo's shots. He was able to land his shots when he wanted. Some of the early rounds that were giving them to Canelo basically on activity alone, because it didn't look like Crawford was really, trying to win those early rounds anyway. He seems like he was trying to just get a reading basically and try to feel Canelo out so he can kind of come up with whatever game plan, or just decide what game plan he wants to use on him. But it looked like the reach, it seemed like that was, and that's not the only thing. I'm not saying that's going to be the only reason why Canelo lost. There's a myriad of other things, but it just seemed when he planted his feet and was trying to move out, move his upper body, he would still get hit. What did you see?
A lot of what you've seen. Look, early on in that fight, what I noticed right away is that Canelo was not landing the damaging shots that he needed to slow Crawford down for the late rounds. He wasn't slowing Crawford down for the moments where he needs to take a breath, right? And that was what I took away most from those first 3 rounds. After that 3rd round, I was like, dude, this is gonna get scary for Canelo. We know Canelo slows down. He's going basically punch for punch right now in the rounds where he's supposed to be the bigger man, the heavier puncher. Right? Where are the damaging shots? They just weren't landing. I mean, seriously, Max Kellerman's like, you gotta wait. He's gonna hit you on the chin at any time, you guys. And when he hits him on the chin, that's what we're really gonna see. It's like, buddy, it's round 4, buddy. It's round fucking 4. He hasn't touched him yet, dude. He just wasn't getting there. Listen, it was master boxing going on last night. The half step back, the pivots off the ropes, the knowing where you were. His back never even touched the rope. It's like he had it in his head. 1, 2, I'm almost there. Step, slide, pivot, I'm out. Never even touched the ropes. Maybe when he wanted to, but I'm saying never got cornered, never got trapped into the ropes by Canelo. And Canelo did not do a bad job of trying to cut off the ring. You've seen Canelo cut. He wasn't being amateur. He wasn't following. He was trying to cut off the ring. Just a little too slow. And he's always been that flat-footed kid, right?
Yeah,
I think everyone used to say that from the beginning. So is that something they knew off the top going in, that they had that little bit of edge, that half step on him that was going to keep him out of harm's way the whole time, or until he felt comfortable with the power. And that was later on in the fight when we know Canelo starts getting tired, right? So that's what I noticed right away that I knew was playing in the favor of Terence Crawford. Was there was not a lot of damage being landed early. Canelo, unfortunately, because of his mental, because of the way he trains, because of the way he fights, you knew rounds 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, he's going to start slowing down. Crawford is going to start picking it up. I kept telling my son and my wife, he has trained for the last part of this fight. He did not train to go toe-to-toe with Canelo in the first 3 to 4 rounds. This fight right now is going exactly how Terence Crawford wants it. And ultimately, it seemed like that's exactly how he played it out. As he starts, dude, not only, remember I told you, he inside, outside, he had both games. He was actually punching inside of the punches of Canelo last night.
He really was. And Canelo was so surprised. Yeah. Like, you can see the way his head was snapped back, and it was almost, and you talked about it before, like we saw a bit of the maybe young, slightly immature Canelo. I thought I saw Canelo like punch his gloves a couple of times, like, like, let's go, right? That is a sign of frustration. It really is, you know what I'm saying? We've seen Manny do it before, when he gets crocked. I mean, we've even seen it with Berlanga whenever he gets dropped, right? He does that, just like, fuck, damn it. And he did it he very briefly, and I almost kind of get the impression that he did it so fast, then he's like, oh fuck, did I just really just give away my cards? Like, he really just showed his frustration, and ultimately he did show, but not in that fashion. But when I saw that, I was like, oh damn, he's in here now. It's up here now, and it just looked like after a certain round, after maybe 6 or 7, no, I'm saying not 7 or 8. I think that was it. It was done. It was just like, at this point, just, fucking survive, get the shit out here. I'm not going to say he completely gave up, but I think he was kind of already defeated to a certain extent, at least mentally. And with those last few rounds, man, and was there, I don't know, and again, maybe there was anything else that had been done, but with hearing Eddie in his corner, there was a sense of urgency, but it wasn't that like desperate urgency. If you remember, and I know this is just one example, but Chavez Taylor won. You hear the desperate the desperation in the corner of Chavez. His cornerman's telling him, dude, do it for your kids, do it all this and that, like very Teddy Atlas, like, bro, fuck, this is it, homie, you're losing or whatever the hell. And I just didn't get that from Eddie. Again, not that would have made things any differently, but it just seemed like they were comfortable with losing. We've heard it before. Once you lose once, it's kind of like, all right, whatever, right? You know how it's like to lose, and it's not that bad. So they just kind of are okay with losing. I don't know if that would make a difference, but I didn't see that urgency in the corner. I mean, that kind of urgency, I should say.
You're absolutely right. The only thing I can tell you, Miguel, is Chavez isn't making 120 million per fight at the time where he's fighting Meldrick Taylor. So there's the urgency right there. Don King's probably getting him at what, 2 million for that fight. I hope that might even be high. But, right. I'm gonna hope Chavez made 2 million for the Meldrick Taylor fight. So that's the difference, right? I totally agree with you though about the urgency just not being there in the corner. He has lost before. He has draws, on his record. There's a lot of, he's a vet. Canelo's a vet. Yeah. Does he want to continue? I think that all depends on who they're putting in front of him right now. He has no reason to continue. Miguel, I don't know if he can really come back from this fight. This is a bad loss for him. I don't know who's on the radar that would make us go, man, you know what? He is top 5. He is top 10. His legacy, I think, fell in the Mexican all-time great list last night. I don't know if you can put a guy who's showed so many flaws throughout his career ahead of some of the other boxers that, they had currently had him pat, and they had him like number 2 or something like that not too long ago. So I don't know if he comes back from this. If I'm him, I'm going to be dead serious. I probably would have, I know he wants to spend time with his family, you guys. He made 100 million. It's not like he needs a fight tomorrow.
150 million.
150 million. And that's guaranteed. He's probably making more when it's all said and done. So it's not like he needs a fight, but probably looking for like a next, like seriously, if Jake Paul gets past fucking Tank, maybe I look for that fight, try to score 100 million. Because look, they're gonna break records, and you got to put that on the list. I'm so excited about Jake Paul Tank being on Netflix. Thank you, Netflix. That was a huge announcement last night. If Jake Paul gets past him and I'm Canelo, maybe I'm doing the exhibition on my way out. But there is no reason. He's already done even the Mexico fight. You know what I mean? What do you want to go back there for? I mean,
I remember him saying that at one point, and I mean, please refresh my memory. I don't think he has, but I remember him saying at one point that he wants to fight in Japan. And I don't think he has done that. I'm not to say that he would do that, but when you mentioned it a few minutes ago about like, nobody really, why would he come back? There's no reason to come back. Well, as I remember, he signed a 4-fight deal with Riyadh and Riyadh season, so he's got 2 more to go, right? I mean, I don't know if Turki Al-Sheikh is going to be like, all right, cool, bye. Like no, fool, you owe me 2 more fucking fights, homie. Like,
well, he can retire though. He can retire.
Well, he can. Yeah, I guess he can.
Yeah. Look, right now he's looking on the radar of what, Shabazz and Benavidez.
Shiraz.
Yeah, that's and Benavidez.
I'm gonna bring that up here in a few seconds because that was one of my other questions. But it's Shiraz because mind you, we was it last month, I think. or when was before the Berlanga and Shiraz fight, I remember Turkey saying, the winner of this gets Canelo. At that point, just assuming that Canelo was gonna beat Crawford, and that was like the whole point, the reason of that fight, right? I mean, the winner would get Canelo. Well, Canelo lost, so does that mean that Shiraz gets Canelo even though he fucking lost, or is it because or did Turkey mean to say, well, whoever who wins between Berlanga and Shiraz gets the winner of Canelo and Crawford. So now that Crawford comes out on top, I mean, shit. And again, this is kind of what one of the next topics that I'm going to talk about is what next, right? We're talking about what happens after this for both Canelo and Crawford. During the post-fight press conference, Crawford said he's not coming back down to 154. He said he's not fighting Boots Ennis. At some point, someone else caught a clip of Bomac getting to his car, about to leave the arena or his truck, and he asked him, "Hey man, what's next?" Oh, he needs to rest. He needs to rest, right, real quick. And then he's like, "Is he retiring?" He's like, "No, he's not retiring." So he even Bomac himself said he's not retiring. So is he going to stay at 168? Fight somebody like Shiraz, or go down to 160 where there's a Johnny Beck, which is a dangerous motherfucker as it is, maybe beat Lara, get that middleweight title that we talked about, that we thought he was going to do on the way to 168. So I don't know. It's Shiraz. That sounds pretty intriguing to me. I'm down to see fucking Shiraz and Crawford. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Shiraz is a big motherfucker, and he can hit. I don't know if, and I know we've talked about, and he's much younger, of course, but I don't know if this how much of a difference is going to be there. But Shiraz and Benavidez, yeah. I mean, probably not even Benavidez, because I'm not sure if he's going to be willing to come back down to 168, because obviously Terence isn't going to up to 175, right? So yeah, it would be primarily, I think, Shiraz, but kind of a side B, Benavidez.
Yeah, look, Terence probably wants to make a few $50 million checks before he checks out of this sport. And it sounds like last night he might have made 20 million, but it doesn't sound like he was making 50.
No?
No.
I thought that was the whole point. Like, remember 200 million already in the pot.
That's what I mean by kind of confirmed my theory about Bomac and him. I think knew that they could beat. So it wasn't about going up there and seeing if they could beat him. And ultimately, that fight played out in a way that they knew they were faster on the outside. They knew the reach was going to be too much for him to get in. And they knew the hand speed. Bro, he's landing 4 or 5. He's 38 years old to a 35-year-old. Yet he's out punching you 5-1, 4-1. It was a master class on the boxing side. So I think Bomac and Terence studied the last 7 fights of Crawford, going the distance, throwing one punch counter. They knew something. So the timing was right. The style was right. Does not mean he wants to stay at super middleweight and take on all these big dudes now. Shiraz. There you go.
Close enough. I just like when you first call him Shazam at first.
And Shiraz. Big, young, powerful. The only reason Terence fights him is if he gets paid $100 million from His Excellency, and that's potentially on the table. And
I think so. I mean, we know, I don't say favoritism, but towards Shiraz, right? I mean, we've seen it from Turkey. So I think the fact that he told, Shiraz and Berlanga, the winner of y'all get Canelo, of course, anticipating that Canelo will win. Turns out it's not going to be the case. I can almost imagine Shiraz going to come to Turkey and be like, all right, y'all, Canelo didn't win, but Crawford did, throw me Crawford, homie. I'm down with that. And I was right there with you. I am 100% sure that that's on the table, at least in Turkey's head.
In Turkey's head and in Bomac. Now this is where Bomac and Terence are doing it for the money, because they're going into a little deeper water. See, with Canelo, you kind of know what you're getting, right? We there's enough evidence on Canelo to see this is what this man's doing at this point in his career. I think we can win this. I think with Shiraz, we have no idea yet. This guy's still growing. There's still, information coming out on him, right? Of who he is, what's his his flaws and what's his PowerPoints. So deeper waters because of the unknown. He stands over 6 feet, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know where
Knocked
he's
the
at
hell
exactly.
out of Berlanga when Canelo didn't even come close to doing that to Berlanga, you know? So no, I don't, I don't know if, I don't know if Terrence wants to stay there, but I don't know if that's the only reason why His Excellency gave him this fight, right? His Excellency might say, I don't have a future with you, but you fighting Shiraz next. That's what this was always about. The winner of you and Canelo is fighting Shiraz in Saudi Arabia. That's the end game. And if that's the case, then Terrence has nothing else on the table but to go and stay at 168. But really, Miguel, I don't want to see him stay there. I'd rather him move back down and take on. Let's go for undisputed at 154. Fuck it. Why not? Why not at this point?
I don't think he's gonna. I mean, look.
No, I
And
know that you don't think he's gonna, but I'm saying if I'm Terrence, I give up the straps at 168 and I'm moving back down to 154.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I give up the straps, no doubt, and move back down, no doubt, but not 154. Like, I don't think for whatever he bulked up at, it's just going to be a Roy Jones thing. He's going to end up losing muscle mass to come back down to 154 that he, already built. Basically, he's going to try to maintain it. Of course, I think he comes back down to 160. Do one unified or undisputed at 160. Fuck it, go ahead. That the legends are definitely there, right? Most recently with
There's not
Bernard.
there's not a huge fight though at 160. When there is at 154 though, you have Mexicans, you have a Puerto Rican, right? The money's bigger, dude, at 154. But Miguel, I know all of it. He has to wait. He has to wait for some fights to play out, unless he's going to go down there and take on all the champions, which at 38 I don't think he wants to do, right?
But how much time did he has? I mean, like you said, to be able to wait until all the champs are unified and we have one champion for him to go after. Who the fuck knows that when the hell that will happen at 154 at all?
Yeah, no, the right now it looks like his only option would be to wait until Shiraz is ready to get a payday. He's gonna get a huge payday because he can hold out for that fight and make a little bit more money. I think His Excellency will give him a raise to get him in the ring to fight Shiraz.
Hold out another year, because that's kind of the way. That was one of the things that I was going to mention on my prediction video that I actually forgot, is that he, since 2019, I think it was, he's fought once a year. He's 38. He's going to be turning 38 here very very soon. Wait another year, rest another year, and then we see him next year at 39.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what really other options he has right now, right? The rematch with Canelo, bro, don't even know if that's going to be on the.
I was just going to say that. Like, did we see anything that would lead us to believe that a rematch would be any different?
It would be on the Mexican fan base side. Do you see anything in the chat rooms on their side that is saying Canelo should have won last night? Canelo has an injured hand. If he didn't have that injury, you know what I mean? If we're not seeing anything and it was a fair decision, then no, I don't think there's any reason for a rematch. I didn't see that fight being close, bro. And I think it only hurts Canelo if he comes back and loses to this welterweight again. It was real bad.
This would be the 50 million or whatever or more so for Crawford. I mean, if this was for this fight here, because at one, I mean, besides Shiraz, of course, but again, we don't know if that's even going to happen. But to drop back down to 154, wait for that that division sort of sort itself out. That's going to be the only other division that he's going to be able to get that kind of amount of money. But otherwise, it's Shiraz or wait for Shiraz a little bit or have the rematch with Canelo and stay at 168, because I mean, I always figured going to 160, add another, championship or weight class, because he did skip 160, mind you. Everybody talks about going from 135 to 168, but he did it regardless as far as weight goes. But as far as like becoming champion in 160, just solely skipped it. But my point is, if it's not Shiraz and it's not Canelo, I mean, if it's not Shiraz, then it kind of has to be Canelo if he stays at 168. Other than that, having to drop way the fuck back down to 154, and whenever the hell that happens, if that happens at all.
Yeah, and it matters where everyone else is with their contracts with their promoters. Look, he goes to 154. He has PBC. He has DAZN. He has Golden Boy there. he could work maybe a fight with them, even though, to be honest with you, I don't know how much pay-per-view is going to be rocking next year. So
Yeah, it won't be
even
pay-per-view. Yeah.
those avenues. Oh yeah, he could fight PBC on Prime Amazon. So we got to get into what Prime Amazon is paying, because then at least he has an option. See, what I'm getting nervous about as we're talking, I'm staring off into the distance, is I'm realizing he doesn't have another option. He's already
Another
he
option besides who?
promoter.
Chirag?
As
Oh, okay.
as far as a promoter
Oh,
going to
I
another
see.
promotional company and getting another fight, what leverage does he have going into Saudi Arabia and talking with them about the Shiraz fight? What can he tell them? Oh, if I don't take Shiraz, I can go fight Virgil Ortiz and go with Golden Boy. I can go fight Fandura with PBC, right? But if
Those
they
aren't
don't
$50
have
million
any,
fights.
yeah, and if they don't have any pay-per-view, well, no, I'm thinking Terence Crawford's going to do fine on his own from here on out, Miguel. I
Okay.
believe he crossed over. Dude, this is 2 fights now where this guy is totally fucking dominated. The Spence fight, all the PBC fans know he's a dog. And now last night, all the Mexican American fans know Terence Crawford's the real deal. I think he carries his own bag to the fights now. At least his money is secure. They're going to have to pay him. I don't know about the undercard. But I think I think Terrence is secured from here on out. So you kind of just need to give him an opponent now, I think, is where he's at. So that's where I was like, maybe he goes at 154 just to threaten, and not threaten, that's a bad word to use, but just to get a little leverage on his side that I have other options,
Mm.
you know? Um, So yeah, that's where I'm at. Or he's just fucking at the mercy of his
Turkey.
excellency.
I think he already is, honestly, man. Because just watching that video of him on that like climber or whatever, and Turkey comes up and he's like, "Yo, no retirement," right? And he's just like, "Oh shit, okay, I guess I have to." I mean, if this fucker's gonna be the one writing the checks, then I guess I'm gonna stay here. Now, again, I don't know if it's gonna be 168 or not, but I'm not sure how many more options. And I know, and this is one of the other topics that we're gonna get into here shortly in regards to what last night was as a whole. And I know it's supposed to be, or at least that's what Max Kellerman said at the very end, the potential of a kickoff of a new era in boxing and these kinds of fights that we can bring to the public, right? Crawford is 38, and I know we're probably looking too much into his age. I mean, maybe he's got a lot more years than I am giving him credit for because of his age, and he doesn't have all those miles on the odometer. But during the, I'm not sure if it was before the press conference, but up on that, I forget where that's called, but where Mario Lopez was, and was it Tarver and everybody else, right? Coppinger and everything, Kriegel as well. He was up there talking to them for a little bit. Terrence was, and he's says, I'm the cash cow now. I'm the king, right? I take the fucking platform here. I'm the one that is essentially saying that the torch was passed to him because that's it. He just beat Canelo, right? That's kind of the way it is. But how long is he going to hold that torch? He is 38. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sure if that happened. And not in the sense that he won, because obviously he did, right? And he basically yanked that damn torch from Canelo, and Canelo was clutching that shit, but he's like, no, fuck it, I'm taking it. And I get it, he did. But the thing is it in good hands? I don't know how much longer Canelo or Crawford is going to be here for us to say like, oh shit, the torch was passed. He's going to be here for another decade. He's going to be the next Oscar. He's not going to be, or not Oscar, maybe Manny, anybody else. I'm trying to say like the next cash cow. He's up there in age already. He isn't going to be around for that much longer. I don't know. I don't know if again he got the torch, yes, but I don't know if it's necessarily in good hands.
I sort of get what you're saying. I can only tell you that he dominated Canelo again last night. He dominated Spence. He got a unanimous decision on Madrimov. The guy hasn't shown any drop back in his performances yet, right? I don't even remember Terence Crawford really even being swollen, hurt, injured. Does this guy have hurt hands? I don't remember the reports of him needing surgeries on his hands, and he's taking time off because his back hurts, and he doesn't work out as much as he used to. I'm not hearing any of these stories. All I'm seeing is greatness, dominance. He keeps rising. Last night, maybe it was a peak. Maybe he finally peaked last night. But before last night, he did not peak. So last night was even after that win, you've seen his legacy rise some more. So he's still not done rising, right? Maybe after last night he is. We'll see what his next two opponents are, what his next move is. But no, there's nothing in me that says that he's ready to pass the torch to anyone. He might go another 4 or 5 years. And recently in boxing, that's not been far-fetched. Is these fighters fighting into their mid-40s now? So I think he's perfectly fine, just because he hasn't shown any wear and tear on his body yet. I think he's fine right now. It's all about opponents, really. It's about opponents. It's about what Riyadh wants to do with him, right? Are they looking to build a career around him, or are they looking for how fast can we get Shiraz to knock him, to get him in the ring with Terence Crawford?
Yeah, that was going to be, I think, probably the capsule, or was it to put a cap on what would be next. I guess it would have to be. I mean, you would not want to see Crawford stay at 168, but you're thinking he might not have any other choice.
Yeah, I'm thinking if all he has is the game plan of Turkey, then the game plan is he stays at 168. Look, I don't want him to take on any of those undercard guys. That's McBeal or the guy that got a draw from Guatemala.
Yeah.
I don't want that. Those fights are nothing fights. Those are not legacy fights. Those don't generate a lot of money. They better hella overpay him, because it's just.
I don't think he wants those fights either himself.
No,
like I think we're at that point where he's like, no, these are all big money fight types of things, and then those guys aren't that.
Yeah, he should not have to take on one of those guys. But we heard McBeal is the. Well, it was for the shot at the title. So don't want to see him have to do any type of fights like that. Look, they made Canelo fight William Skull. That was some bullshit fight.
And Yildirim too. Those kind of fights. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure if Crawford is the kind of guy who would be okay with those kind of fights.
Yeah. So interesting times we have ahead.
Yeah, and on that note, we talked about it a few times, and here's the thing: I was a little unsure they were going to be able to do this, but according to Ring Magazine, it was a sellout crowd at the Allegiant Stadium, sending breaking a record attendance, 70,482 in attendance for last night. I gotta be honest, I didn't think they would be able to do that. I wasn't sure. I knew Canelo was going to be able to bring people in, but I wasn't sure if Crawford's people. And we doubted it. We're like, I don't know if Crawford's people are going to follow him that degree. Where they're going to come from Omaha, they're going to come from the other side of the country. I'm not sure if they did that, but people showed up, right? As a matter of fact, it also is now the third biggest in boxing history as far as the live gate, 47,231,887, only behind, what do we say, Manny, Floyd, and then Floyd Connor. So this is hitting the number 3 mark at $47 million. So far, at least on paper, this looks like a fucking success. Holy shit. We don't know what the numbers are going to be as far as the viewership on Netflix. I can only imagine they were pretty damn awesome. I mean, it was free, for fuck's sake. You and I were talking about this before we hopped on air, and you were talking about like what could potentially be for like closed circuit numbers. We don't even know that, right? But this fight wasn't pay-per-view. Everybody had access to it. I'm not even sure if closed circuit was even a thing for this fight, because you literally can just stay home and watch it. I'm sure other places hosted it and people went to go watch them. Other places, it wasn't like that wasn't the case. But I don't think it's closed circuit, right? It's just basically a fucking Netflix subscription. I don't know how that would work with restaurants or bars or anything, but anybody has Netflix and they can tune in to watch it. So I have to assume if this was any indication of what popularity or how many eyes are going to be on this fight or were on this fight last night, I can only imagine the numbers on Netflix are going to be pretty killer. In regards to viewership and whatnot, but I don't know if it's going to be we talked about it. I don't know if it's going to beat Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, for crying out loud, but it's going to be up there, no doubt. So pretty successful as far as in the arena, or I keep saying arena, but the stadium, even considering those crazy ass fucking prices for tickets, even considering that. There were a couple of celebrities there, or there's several of them, I should say. Did you see? Did you see that, Andrew? There was, I think, Charlize Theron, and I think who the hell was that? I'm almost certain. Oh yeah, Mark Wahlberg. There were a couple of other celebrities there, right? Seeing those celebrities there, did that give you that like kind of old school feel, like, oh shit, this is a big mega fight where like the celebrities are out and they're like boxing fans? It gave a little bit more appeal to the the broader audience. Did that give you that feel when you saw those celebrities in the crowd?
Yes, it absolutely did, Miguel. I was very happy with the response of the crowd, the celebrities in the crowd, the fan base that had showed up. 70,000, a great number for boxing, a great number for Las Vegas, who's really been struggling tourism wise, right? Getting people out there. 70,000 to hit a casino immediately after that fight is just a great number for the casinos out there. Going off of viewership, when I go to YouTube, the Netflix page on YouTube, it looks like the highlights received a high number of 6.6 million views. It's a very good number for people just checking out the highlights. So yeah, I'm hoping that the number is in the double digits as far as how many homes they reached last night for the fight live. But so that's only indication I have on if the fight did good is the highlight is 6.6 million views right now.
Damn. Yeah, that's promising. That is really fucking promising. I don't know if what Max Kellerman was saying is true, and this actually did really kick off like a new era in the sport. But on that note, Netflix, the production, yes, this was promoted by TKO and Zuffa and boys and all that good stuff, in addition to Riyadh season, yada yada. What did you think of the production, of the commentators? We saw, we read earlier. I think it was like a month before the fight, we were told about the specific broadcast team and the guys that are going to be on the mic that night. I don't know. Max Kellerman seemed like he was, I don't know, man. He had a real big heart on for this fucking fight, and I can understand why, right, to a certain extent. But I don't know, maybe just a little over the top. I'm not sure if that was, I thought was just maybe reading it wrong or something like that. But nonetheless, what did you think of the production, the commentators, that part of the Netflix broadcast?
First, I'm going to start with the big arrival of this TKO promotional company that was supposed to take place last night, right? I didn't see it. I didn't see TKO. I didn't see Dana White doing any kind of announcing in the ring, any kind of, these are my guys, I signed this guy's going to be fighting for TKO, look for him. There was no promoting. Was there any flags that said seal TKO, anything? I didn't see it, bro. It was a real weird opening of a new company in boxing. The only thing I can think of is, did that Muhammad Ali act being denied do a pause on the whole TKO push right now? Because without Dana being able to pay guys $20,000 a fight, does he really have a business platform to stand on? Because that's his platform, right? He signs guys at cheap prices, gets them in the ring, he'll get fights put together. It was really weird, but I didn't see anything that showed me that Dana put on that fight last night. He was just like, boss.
Besides him there.
You were Mr. Beast, bro. You were that dork sitting on the other side of His Excellency, just trying to hey, look, His Excellency's really hot in America. He's got Dana White and Mr. Beast sitting by him. Don't the kids like these guys? Look at it. They're sitting by me. I'm cool. Mr. Beast had no business being in that fucking ring, dude. The guy didn't pay attention to one single fight. Not one. And trust me, I don't even know who this dude is. I only know him because of my son, Giovanni.
Yeah.
Gio and that knows him the most. He always wants his fucking candy bar or whatever when that thing first came out. But as Miguel was one of the most disrespectful front rows I'd ever seen. Dana White literally was talking to people, was on his phone, was looking mad. Turkey gets up and walks away, like just mid-fight. He just gets up and leaves, bro. Mr. Beast, I don't think paid attention to one single undercard. I don't even think he paid attention to the main event. I think he was still talking. He was still on his fucking phone playing Fortnite or some shit, probably, bro. Like, not tuned in at all. The most disrespectful front row I'd ever seen at a boxing match. They need to work on that. How the fuck security let all these people literally they were in front of His Excellency. There is a time where there's some douchebags trying to talk to Dana White, and he's standing in front of the guy that has all the money. Where's security at? Got to get your shit right on that part. Did not see. Look, the undercard was a no-show. You know, and I'm talking about the prelims. Mm-hmm. Now, on the pay-per-view undercard, you had McBeal and what's the young man's name from Guatemala?
Lester Martinez.
Lester Martinez. They showed up. Those guys showed up. They should have been the co-main event. Vargas and this Walsh kid really laid an egg. Hey, Walsh, your promoter wasn't even watching you. Seriously, bro. It was really disrespectful. But you're the face of this UFC Fight Pass, and your guy was, I don't know, back there taking photos or some shit, but you didn't do shit to keep anybody interested in that fight. And Vargas thought you were playing a little bit too much sparring partner with the kid. Should have went in there wanting that fight a little bit more. Your corner should never be telling you to believe in yourself when you're in the biggest fight of your life. What the fuck is going on there? You know what I mean? You either want this or you don't, but you're in the biggest fight of your life and they're telling you to believe in yourself.
On the biggest platform, you know, right? A main event on one of the biggest cards. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, whatever that co-main was, don't know, but neither man impressed. Neither. Because, I mean, seriously, the Walsh kid, they set that up. I mean, this was total, you know, they were all over Walsh's nuts. I knew Vargas was not going to win that fight on cards. You could tell that very early. He wasn't doing anything right in far as the eyes of the commentators. He didn't have any experience. He doesn't have a big amateur background. He's really just the son of Fernando. I mean, they just kept laying it down. Then all of a sudden we're in round 8, and the Irish kid's got a swollen nose, a cut eye, and have you guys really seen anything that separated these two? No, I didn't really see anything. What the fuck? You guys went and butchered Vargas in the beginning, and now all of a sudden you don't see a separation in the two. What does that say about the kid that is supposed to be showcased right now? So, you know, not a good look on there. His Excellency looked bored as shit on those fights, and then Dana looked bored as shit on the main event. So it was like bad vibes front row the whole night. Don't know what was going on the front row. Listen, earlier in the week, Dana White, His Excellency, and I keep calling him that, Turkey Ali Sheik, says Dana White's going to make a big announcement right now.
Yeah, big surprise.
Dana White gets on the stand and goes, hey, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. Why don't you get out of here? Hey, man, he starts talking. Dude, does that man really take orders like that? Does he really?
We still haven't found out what the fuck that was even about.
Oh, the big announcement was that bullshit ass bro, he tries to think he's in the MMA. We got bonuses. Oh, we got bonuses for you guys.
That was it. Oh, for the undercard people, yeah.
Yeah, here's the bonuses. This is not we're not fighting. And listen, I know some of us are. I get it. But boxing isn't like the MMA where they show like, oh, 50 grand. Oh, fuck. Right? These guys see dudes making millions of fucking dollars here, Miguel. Right? The best example I can give you guys is look at what the prospect Fernando Vargas Jr. walked up looking like, and look at what Walsh looked like when they both met off in their final press conference. I mean, what was that? One dude was in a fucking suit, looked like he spent a couple of grand. The other guy was in a fucking sweatshirt with the t-shirt over it. Look, you know what I mean? It was like, dude, that's what we're talking about. Why we don't want Dana White in fucking boxing. They said headlined 14 cards. Headlined. Yet you show up in a sweater and a t-shirt. How much you really getting paid, dog? Fernando Vargas isn't even the best of his fucking family, and he has a suit on. Just saying. Fighters need to pay attention to what they're seeing there. So the undercard was really weird. Look, we knew it because they were making so much money in the main event. There wasn't really money left. And this is where I wish promoters would all come in a room and sit down and go, how can we benefit from a stage so big? Who is willing to take a pay cut to be on a platform like that last night? We don't even know how many millions of people watched, but off of the fact that their views got 6 million hits, I can guarantee you the live fight did double that. So we're at least looking at 12 million homes, right? You don't want to be in 12 million homes? You don't want to take one pay cut in your career? Just one? And work with His Excellency to be on, like, you know, it's just weird how fighters are like, fuck that, I'm going to be my own main event. When you have these guys with these platforms that you might never reach. Which boxing would get that fixed? You know, the promoters would come together and go, look, thank you for getting Canelo and Crawford to where you're at. How can we help this event by making it bigger? You know, we give them good talent, cheaper price, get better fights out there. That's what I wish His Excellency could bring work in the sport and have fighters that are actually thinking about their future rather than about the present of, no, I need that million right now. No, fight for 200,000, fight for 300. It's going to be a showcase. I'm not saying we're not the UFC. We're not doing belt for belt at 50 grand. That's not what we're doing here. But it would be nice to have a little bit bigger names on the bottom, show a little bit more talent. You know what I'm saying? And it could be a top 10 guy. I'm not saying it has to be fucking the ranked 30th dude.
Yeah.
It could be top 10 because when you're the elite, you should be able to take out top 10 on just waking up and going and fighting, right?
Yeah. So it I guess by your definition, I guess it wasn't what Max was saying. It's like this is a launching of a new era type thing, like what people are looking forward to, the change that we're hoping in boxing. That it wasn't that, in your opinion, that was not last night.
Miguel, we seen nothing that even showed us there was a new era. I didn't see TKO in the fucking ring. I didn't see a banner that said TKO. I didn't see Dana White saying Tim Walsh is going to be the dude. That's
all you're basing that off of. Is just the fact that they're not advertised.
Well,
I mean, they were part of it.
The new era, because honestly,
well, the fact that we got this, we got the fight on Netflix.
Amanda Serrano has already fought on Netflix. Jake Paul and Tyson already fought on Netflix, so they brought in the new era. It was not Canelo Crawford. They're just following, right? So I can't say that the new era that you're talking about is the Dana White era, the TKO era. And in that, I did not see... Bro, Dana White couldn't even keep Suleiman out of the fucking ring. Let's talk about that, bro.
Yeah.
You come out talking that bullshit about, oh, he better not think he's coming in the fucking ring. Suleiman bitch slapped you too last night, bro. Seriously, like you're getting it from... This week, Dana was getting smacked around the boxing world.
He was taking it in the ass hard this week, yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, come on. Where was his power? Where was... I honestly, Miguel, I don't know. Besides him bringing that Walsh kid, and that's off of the knowledge of you knowing about UFC Fight Pass, knowing about that young man had fought on there many times. That's all I know Dana White did last night was bring that kid to the fight. And it was a dud. It was such a dud. His own boss got up and walked around during the fight. Have you ever seen Oscar De La Hoya or Bob Arum or Eddie Hearn would, and Eddie Hearn has pom-poms on when his guys are fighting. Swear to God, right? He just does, bro. Frank Warren, never seen him get up and walk away while one of his dudes are fighting in the fucking ring. Dude, no way. I'd be like, come on, boss. Thought I'm the face. Shouldn't you be like doing this for me? Right? Oh, he hit him. He fucking hit him. No, instead he's over here taking pictures, doing that. That was weird. I'd never seen a front row like that. And I'm sorry, I can't even believe Turki Ali Sheik didn't tell people to sit the fuck down. I'm dead serious. Like, he was literally like this. I told you, where's our security? Clear this fucking row.
Yeah, where's my bodyguard? What the fuck? Get him out of here.
Miguel, we all know what the front row is. You get 60 seconds to get to your fucking seat. When that bell rings, everyone's supposed to get down or get out. That's it. There's no walking around. There's no camera picture taking. Nobody knew what the fuck was going on in that front row. Those security guards, the commissioners, all the Turkey's own security. Come on, you guys all dropped the ball last night. So, as far as the new era, it's the Netflix era. That's what I hope got a little bit more secure, Miguel. I'm hoping Netflix comes back with huge numbers. That's going to be our third fight on Netflix that does great numbers. And let's move forward with and then they announced Jake Paul versus Tank.
I knew that was coming. Shit, it's like they got 3 great fights and they're gonna have a 4th. Just kidding.
The numbers could. It could. Could you imagine if this year Netflix does? What are we looking at? Maybe 200 million views in just 4 fights. Think about it, bro. Yeah. And that might be too heavy of a number. Look, we got 47
You're not too far off. You're not too far off.
Yeah, 47 million and 6 million. We're looking at what, 53 million right there. We're hoping Canelo and them can get us close to, so about 100, let's say 125 million views. Let's say ballpark. 125 they can do in 4 fights.
That's
pretty good.
That's pretty
good. Yeah.
What about the team, the commentating team, the Mario Lopez, Tarver, Kriegel, and Coppinger up in the top, and then down ringside, John Anik, which is a UFC guy, of course, and then Andre Ward, which I guess is the and I don't know, maybe I just wasn't listening hard enough, but it seemed like Ward didn't talk enough. Maybe he was just kind of geeking out a little bit and fanning out, just kind of watching the fight. But I thought he was supposed to be like the Lennox Lewis and the George Foreman ringside. I don't think he talked enough. I don't know. Maybe it was just me. I wasn't paying attention, but I just didn't think he talked enough. It was a lot more Anik and Max Kellerman. But overall, I guess we should start off with like the other team, right? Before we get down to the team ringside, the play-by-play guys, Lopez, Kriegel, Tarver, those guys. What do you think about them?
I didn't have any problem with anyone, really. Max was being Max. He was getting me a little bit upset with the BFF title. What the fuck is this UFC title?
It's not a real. It's BMF. It's bad motherfucker is what it's supposed to be. But it's just that's
all
it is.
Is that the dumbest thing you've ever said?
It is. Dude, I legit hate it. I hate it with a fucking passion. And you know me, I'm an MMA fan. I watch the UFC. I watch the shit. I love the fact that I get to see the best dudes fight a lot regularly, like the best fight the best. I mean, and when I heard about this, and the very first time I think they did it, if I remember correctly, was that Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal fight where The Rock was in the ring, and I think they presented the belt. I want to say that might have been it, but it was the dumbest fucking. It's a UFC belt, the same like shape and everything, but it's like silver and it has BMF on it. That is the dumbest. And mind you, the fights that these guys had are still fun fights, and it had Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje later on, and yada yada. So people have fought for it, but it's just like, I hate this belt with a goddamn passion. I wish that it's not even a real title. It's more like those WBC, Azteca belts or whatever the fuck. They don't really mean shit, but it's a trinket, and I hate it. But that's what he's talking about. BMF, bad motherfucker. That's what it is.
And what I thought was funny is I know we have clips of Max not liking all the belts in boxing, but here you are advocating to bring another belt into this new era that only wants one belt. We should only have one champion. I don't want one champion. We need another belt, the motherfucker belt. I was a little mad that he kept saying that, but I don't know if Max was doing that and trying to be a company man for Dana, or if he was doing that to try to poke the bear with the boxing. If he's trying to, I know he was trying to get a response out of Canelo when he was doing the whole, and Dana's here, and we all know he's going to make boxing bigger, right? Ron's going to be bigger, right? He's a big, hey, wait a minute. That was all, he was all trying to trigger Saul, and Saul took the bait, triggered. Thank you too, Saul.
Instigating.
Yeah, no, thank you. I would have triggered off too, Saul, so thank you for doing that. But that's what I felt he was doing at that particular moment. I didn't think Max was digging boxing. I think he was trying to get people to react. He wanted the crowd to boo, right? And we got to talk about boos. But he wanted the crowd to boo. So during the fight, when he kept bringing this BF belt up, I was like, dude, shut up about this. This is stupid. Why do you keep bringing up this belt when you said that was boxing's problem? Is we had too many fucking belts, and now you're making shit up. Now you're making a belt up. Whatever. So, but just Max being Max. A lot of the other shit, that's just him. Now, what? Now, look, I have a theory, but I'm also going to ask you, what the fuck were the Mexicans doing booing when they started naming off the kings of Saudi Arabia, bro?
Ignorant as shit is the only thing that comes to mind, bro. That's the only thing. I mean, look, it was a little weird that there was no U.S. or Mexico national anthem before the fucking fight. That struck me as strange. I was like, what the hell? One of my buddies was watching it on the Spanish broadcast. He was telling me he was watching the Spanish, and the announcers, the color commentators who were the play-by-play guys for the Spanish version of Netflix, they brought it up and they kind of got muted, and then they just continued with the fucking thing, right? It was just weird. When I saw that, I was like, is this, I don't know what the hell this was, but I guess, there was no national anthem, neither Mexico, no US, unless I missed it, which I don't think it was. But when, I don't know if maybe Mexican fans didn't like that shit. I mean, I don't know when did they boo specifically? Because I keep hearing on and off. They had Devin Haney on the thing and they booed the shit out of him. They had Chavez on the screen and they cheered him. But there's nothing else to explain it other than sheer fucking ignorance, man.
Okay, so this is my theory. That live, there was a time gap between live,
like a delay.
A delay, yes.
Okay.
Time delay. And that Turkey's face was actually planted on the screen live there at the Coliseum before we seen it on our TVs. And they were reacting to Turkey because, remember, I told my wife, Mexican fans are very intelligent on this sport. They know that Canelo was saying Turkey was in the side of Crawford.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just the fans responding to that. Like, yeah, his motherfucker is not on our side. He wants Crawford. I'm hoping because his Turkey Ali Sheik was not fucking happy when those boos started raining down. Did you notice he walked off of the camera?
No, I didn't.
Oh, yeah, he goes to talk to somebody. Somebody's getting an earful, bro. I don't know what happened there, but I can tell you I didn't like it when I heard my national anthem get booed. I can probably tell you that the Prince of Saudi Arabia doesn't like to hear his name being booed when he's giving so much money and trying to do so much for his sport.
They're there because of him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, look, if you're gonna boo, fine, boo, but don't be fucking buying no tickets for the damn arena, fool. Like, what the fuck? It's either or. Yeah, but I heard a lot of boos. I wasn't sure if that was specifically that because I mean, again, I'm watching it with my pops. My pops is always fucking talking, so I'm like half conversing with him, half watching. Like, okay, Dad, hold on, let me listen to this. As soon as the fight ends, the fighters are being interviewed in the ring, and I'm like, all right, take it easy. Hold on, Dad. I want to hear what the fight because we're going to talk about the show, kind of thing, right? So I do miss some things in between here and there, but so you think it was just that's like, because I mean, if there was a delay, it would be with a delay with the sound too. It wouldn't just be with the visual.
Well, or no, let me say his face was live before the cameraman points up to the screen and goes, oh, look, Turkey's here.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. You know what I mean? Where the crowd live had already seen him and went, oh, boo, while they were saying the king's name. right? They're booing, and then they went to Turkey. So we kind of go, oh, they were booing. No, they weren't. Live, they were booing at Turkey's picture being shown on the TVs there. That's what I'm thinking.
Which is bad anyway. It's like this
Oh,
guy's
yeah, I
bringing you
know,
the fight.
bro.
You know,
It was,
I don't know which one's worse. Well, probably the other one's worse. Yeah, but the fact that he himself is the one that's getting booed, it's like, yo, literally. And then, like, here's the thing. I mean, again, I'm not talking for the majority because we are talking about a 70,000, seat or capacity. Well, not capacity, attendance. But when I went to the grand arrivals, he walked right by us, fucking Turkey. You know, I'm not saying right by us, but he walked down that same aisle that everyone did and that same shit. And I mean, again, by all means, I might be wrong, but I don't remember them booing that motherfucker. Like everybody's like, oh, that it says because we call him in our household El Árabe, the Arab. That's what we call him, like El Árabe. Oh yeah, I said. Anytime I talk to my pops about it, it's like, oh yeah, El Árabe. I said he's the Arab dude, right? That's how my dad remembers him. So that's how we call him. But everybody else, I hear people in speaking Spanish there at the grand arrival saying like, oh yeah, I bien El Árabe. Here comes the Arab dude. They know who exactly we're talking about. Talking about Turkey. Right. So, but I don't remember them booing them. Like I don't know what the fuck happened when they're there. But I mean, ignorance, quite frankly. There's no other way to really put it. But I real quick, was this before the main event? Was it? Well, yes. When was it? Because I wonder if that has anything to do with the fact that there wasn't a U.S. or Mexico national anthem beforehand.
This was the main event. Yeah, this was in the beginning of the main event. We'll be right before they're going to announce the fighters. Both fighters' names. With the relationship that the whole world's in right now with the Middle East. Middle East is really shaky right now, right? I mean, Saudi Arabia is sitting in between a war-riddled countries right now, right? It wasn't the UFC guy. They didn't even want to fly over Saudi Arabia the other day because
some shit was going on.
Afraid of some bombs, fucking possibly being in the air. So it's just really, you don't want to come to the West and get booed. Right, or you don't even want that on TV.
No, you don't want. We don't want to give them more of a reason to fucking hate us. They already hate us as it is. The last thing is like, see, this is why we do this shit because y'all ain't getting motherfuckers, stuff like that. No, but it didn't seem. I mean, it was a little weird, right? There was no national anthem. I thought, like, why this is kind of. Michael Buffer was there. It felt that it had that big fight. It was a big fight. It had that big fight feel on top of everything else. And being on Netflix and everything, that's the norm. Puerto Rican national anthem or whatever national anthem.
They better get that right because if boxing loses its backing of national support through these countries, that's really what keeps boxing alive. Our blood pumping is that countries get behind these fighters. We can't lose that. We can't not acknowledge. I mean, look, we have Americans that pretend they're from other countries because it does so good, right? Like the Vargases. What kind of bullshit was that yesterday, right? They come out walking on an American flag, but they're all wearing Mexican flags. It's like, it confused my kids. I had to talk. Hey, I swear to God, Junior asked. He asked, "Why is he wearing that?" And they're walking out on the American flags. And you said his dad fought for America because I did. I actually went and seen Vargas in the amateurs and told Junior the story about before the fight happened. So he knew his dad already fought for America in the Olympics. Why are they carrying out a different flag? So then I had to go, "Oh, Junior, they do that because they want to make more money." And if they put on that, it has nothing to do with they think they're from another fucking country, right? It's all about the money, bro.
It's tapping into that demographic. That's what it is.
Yes, it's all about the money. So they don't want to. I think now. Let me say this because I've always said this. I do not like how they make Mexican Americans pretend they're from Mexico. I do not like that. But I do not want fighters from their countries not being able to hear their national anthem being played. So Americans should get the American national anthem, and everyone else should get the national anthem that they're playing. Boxing is a global sport. We're a world sport. This is what makes it great: is two fighters from two different countries come into a ring and see who's the better guy. Right? That's gladiator shit. That's why we're there. Excuse me. That's why we're there watching. That's why boxing has gotten so big. Countries literally think they're that guy in the ring. They just do. Guys do. I don't know. We're kind of weird that way. You know, you hear me all the time, you guys on this fucking show. We, the, you know, like, hey, wait a minute.
No, it's not weird. It's just like we want to relate. It's like, oh shit, I can see myself doing that. I can see myself hitting that fucking home run. You know that wins, and then I have
you don't want this, baby. You don't want this.
Yeah, I can see myself.
Left.
Right. It's like that's why you're down there, motherfucker. Shit, don't come up here. I'll make you tell.
So yeah, I hope this doesn't become the norm where we're just gonna put two fighters in the ring. Because I kind of like, dude, Miguel, I was a big advocate back in the day to have two flags come down from the into the middle of the ring, and they did it. Top Rank did it for Cotto versus Margarito. It was badass, bro. Two fucking flags dropped from the top and were hanging.
One or two?
Both flags. It was the Puerto Rican and the Mexican.
The first fight or the second fight?
Oh, so the first fight. The first one. Yeah, the second one wasn't. Second one was kind of a slaughter. That was Cotto getting his revenge, eh? The first one, they had done it. They brought two flags down from the roof into the middle of the ring. I thought that it just makes the shit look sharp. You know what I mean? Yeah. Then when you have both countries fucking screaming on top of their lungs, I hope they don't get away from that. Yeah.
Which, by the way, I actually went to that weigh-in for Cotto Margarito 1, and I'm not ashamed to say that fucking Puerto Ricans drowned us out like a motherfucker, dude. I mean, right. the Mexican fans, they drowned us like a son of a bitch. It's like, oh shit, people were hiding their fucking flags. Like, oh yeah, never mind, goddamn. That's how many fans Cotto had there. That shit was insane. Yeah. So overall, you were okay with the commentating, you know, as the commentators, the broadcast team. There were no, I mean, I'm going to say, because you were like, I'm okay with it besides the Max doing these little things, but did you like it at least? Like, okay, I can dig this. I like it. I'm okay with this. It's not that, like, rub you the wrong way, the way the maybe the zone commentators did or anything like that. Like, it wasn't
absolutely not. You know what? Good point, too, bro. That's a good point. No, I didn't have those DAZN-like feelings. I mean, Max, we're kind of used to Max being Max. The dude from the UFC was kind of just calling punches. He wasn't really giving too much insight. I don't think he had too much to give. Like, he doesn't know about setups and moves and what someone could be potentially doing for later on in the round. He had nothing to give like that. He was more of just like, in the big right hand, that's a good punch from him.
But that's what Andre was there for. No, I mean, that's what Ward would be there for.
No, those guys, no, Andre can still talk about setups and what Crawford's doing at that particular time. He can see into the future on what's happening in the present, where the other guys seem to just be able to do what's in the present, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
And then it was Ward and Max kind of filling in like, you're right, that was a good punch. And I got to tell you later on, that's going to really come back to hunt. I thought it was fine. And I totally agree. I didn't have one DAZN like, I hate these motherfuckers feeling. We're in the zone. They were just so amateur, bro. Like saying the wrong shit. You know what I mean? Not even getting stuff right. They're always clowning each other. Hella seemed like one had a bone to pick with the, you know, it was just really awkward. The zone was really awkward half the time. And then, Mora, at least he was a champ, but kind of had the same feelings about Ryan Garcia. Like, why is he really here? You know what I mean? The guy, like the dude was a champ for like 6 months, man. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Just think there was other worthy guys, but hey, no knock on Mora. I don't want him fired.
They were all there actually. I saw not Chris Mannix, but Grisham. I always forget his name. It's Tom or Todd Grisham.
Todd.
And Todd Grisham. He's also a former WWE guy. I saw Mora there. This was for the Grand Arrival. It might have been also for the open or the media workout as well. Carl Froch. I saw Carl Froch there walking around, stuff like that. So I saw some people walking around and stuff like that. Anyway, they were there. Yeah,
bro. Did you get the video of the girl that went to Fernando Vargas Jr.'s room for the interview?
Oh, I did. Yeah. I didn't watch the video. I just saw a clip of it. I didn't watch the video.
Is that the UFC girl?
I don't think so. I'll have to look again. But you're talking about that like Anna Marie chick or Marie something?
Yeah, the girl that's always
no, I don't think that's
throwing herself out there.
That fucking industry plant that girl gets but no.
I hope that young lady doesn't have a boyfriend or a husband. Like, you literally went to a fighter's room.
Fernando does? You know Fernando? I mean, not a boyfriend.
Who cares about Fernando? These guys are jack-offs. They're professional athletes. You know, their wives know exactly.
They don't get a pass for that. I mean, come on now.
No, dude.
No, I get what
No.
you're saying. No, I agree with you regardless. Like, what the fuck? And I don't know how. I think my buddy, my homie, my ex coworker, Martin, sent me that. I think he sent me that too. As a matter of fact, when I saw this, I was like, "What the hell?" And we're just joking around. I was like, "Man, watch, her walk in," and he's like, "Yep, right." And he's like, "No, you stay there. I'll give you the
And she went
interview
and
on the
sat
bed."
in the bed, bro.
Yeah, she sat on the bed. I wonder what the fuck he was wearing
No,
under those.
listen, that has no place in journalism. Girls going to fighters' rooms, athletes, men's room, going on their beds, sitting on the bed and doing it. No, there's no place for that. Douchey move on Vargas's part. His father should have known better too. And what a classless move by her if she really does have a significant other. Could you imagine the questions her husband or boyfriend?
Even if she doesn't have that, it's like that doesn't have a
if
place
she
for it.
doesn't,
I mean, maybe it makes it worse. I'll take that.
it
Maybe it
makes
does
it
make
way
it
worse, Miguel.
but it's just like I agree that it doesn't have a fucking place for it, huh?
Miguel, could you imagine going to work and them going, "Hey, so I seen your lady,
Yeah,
was she
literally
really
in the bed with some other dude,
yeah,
half naked motherfucker."
how did she get that interview, bro? Did he tell her come up to my room?
Mhm.
And when she got there, he said, "Come in my bedroom," or did he answer the door and go, "Come in my bedroom"? How did she get there? There's a lot of questions to be asked.
Yeah.
If I was a commissioner, I think I would ban that. I'm dead serious. I know I'm being 45. I know I'm being hella old right now, but I just didn't like the way it looked, and I think it's unfair to men reporters. Fernando's obviously not going to ask the man to come to his bed.
Low key, you're way behind on that, dude. That shit happens in MMA all the time. Not that specifically, but whenever I see a chick interview, and again, no disrespect, there are some women who can fucking get down. I'm not saying that they can't, right? But when I see a young, attractive girl, and I'm like, how the fuck does this bitch get this interview? You know what I'm saying? Like, how that, like, when I
you don't want to say it like that. We don't want to say it.
I get it, but you get my point. It's like,
yes.
A fighter is walking down a hallway. You run up to him and you're like, "Hey, dude, can I get an interview real quick?" Like, okay, I guess. An attractive young girl does it, and of course it's gonna fucking stop and give her the fucking interview.
Well, you
it's
come
like,
to my room is what they say.
That's not what I was getting at, but yes, that's my point. That shit happens in MMA, quite a bit. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I don't know if this is her. I'm almost sure it wasn't, because that girl gets my fucking nerve, and I did see the video, or at least a part of it, I should say. So I don't think that was her, but regardless.
If I am, and I'm putting this out there because it should be on record, if I am a PR company, public relations, I am here now sending emails out saying there will be no women going to bedrooms and putting that shit on the internet under our credentials.
Hotel rooms and that shit. No.
Yeah, our credentials are not getting you into bedrooms. Sorry. You want to set up an interview, a professional interview, that's what we're doing here, but we're not going to be responsible of girls then claiming something happened when she shouldn't have been there.
Right.
It was a bad look. That was a bad look, dude. Didn't like it. Thought it was real douchey of Vargas to do that to her. And very stupid move on her part if she did have a significant other at home waiting for her. Never want to hear that you went with a professional athlete to his bedroom. Just me saying out loud makes me mad. I'm mad for the guy. I don't even know him. Just you going to a bedroom of professional athlete pisses me off. Just me saying that. What the fuck? What kind of world do we live in?
She gets home and it's like, "So, how was work, sweetheart?" Like, "Oh, it was good. It was good, honey." Like, really? I saw a couple of videos of you online.
I interviewed Vargas today. Oh, congratulations. Yeah. He told me to go to his room. He was in his bed. Dude, bro, start packing.
It's like, I saw your right hand on the mic. Where was your left hand, sweetheart? Oh my. All right. Well, to just move on to the next couple of topics, because we have a couple of months. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about this particular fight? Canelo Crawford, of course, before we move on to the next two topics and not take up too much more time here. Because
Crawford's always been number one. I think we can stop with the bullshit. Listen, I've never seen a man lose his pound for pound status without losing a fight in the ring. So history should show that the day that Terence Crawford took number one pound for pound should have stood that way. We've dogged this dude for a long time, not giving him the fight, not giving him the Pacquiao fight, not giving him the Mikey Garcia fight, not giving him all the fights with PBC. Then he gets Porter, he knocks him out. He gets Spence, he knocks him out. Then he gets the guy that's been above him 3 divisions later and beats him in a unanimous, excuse me, rest in peace, Lee. I know you'd be laughing right now. Unanimous decision, bro. Not even close. All 3 judges. Come on. Like, he's been the best of the best from the day he's been there. It's really sad what he had to go through to get his credentials or get his flowers. Yeah. But he's there now. And now let's hope there's a few fights in there that will really generate him some money that he should make as an elite fighter that he is. We've seen all of the other elite fighters get paid. It's time for 10. Because to be honest with you, bro, I heard his guaranteed purse is only 10 million. I got to say.
I did hear that as well. But
okay,
I mean,
so you heard that as well.
Because I heard it out of his mouth. I saw a fucking interview where he was asked this, and that's what he said. Or at least it was like an agree, something like that. But I'm almost certain he was in an interview with somebody, and they asked him, and he was like, "Yeah, 10." I think he said something like 10 or something like that. It's like, I could have sworn I heard 50. Maybe there wasn't like, hey, there's additional. But anyway, I don't think. Maybe I'm almost gonna say I don't think he would have done that for something like that, or considering Canelo's 150 and he or whatever the fuck over 100 mil for Canelo and 10 for what's his name. I don't know. That made sense for a Munguia or fucking even Caleb Plant, because I think Caleb got 10. But still, for Crawford, no. I mean, maybe he was just lowballing it. I don't know, but I'm almost certain out of his fucking mouth I heard 10.
Yeah. So I hope he has a few opponents. I hope Turkey has a few opponents in him that he's paid like a legit face of boxing should make. You know, at least
that's the face of
$25 million.
Not exactly. No fucking Tank, not Tank. This is the face of fucking boxing right
here.
Right. Okay. Well, speaking of which, to move on, because that was we want to get everything out of that because we all had our fucking strong opinions about that, but from what I understand, it sounds as though, and I did hear this, I saw this in a recent clip online, Shakur Stevenson saying that a deal with a fight between him, or for a fight between him and Teofimo Lopez is almost a done deal. Now, this weekend on Saturday, you guys will check it out on my YouTube, or our YouTube channel. A couple of videos that I got from the 2025 Box Fan Expo here in Las Vegas at the Las Vegas Convention Center. Teofimo was there. There was a long ass line for picture stuff. I wanted to get at least close enough to be like, hey, Shakur, not happening, but there were a hell of people there, and I just wasn't going to be able to get that close. But turns out that it looks as though, or it sounds as though, that we might get Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson in early 2026. I kind of was hoping again that that Shakur would stay at 135 because there's plenty of opponents there. But hey, you know what? Move up those 5 pounds. And I think a week ago, or maybe a week before, we did also hear that Pitbull Cruz is going to be fighting Lamont Roach. I think 2026 as well, or December. I'd say that back. It goes December if I'm not mistaken. So the winner of either one of those to come out and fight one another would be pretty badass in my opinion. Granted, we might, it'd be cool if we get Shakur and Lamont Roach maybe at 140, not 135, the way I wanted it. But regardless, we're gonna get it, and not too far in the distance. But anyway, before I'm jumping already way the hell ahead here, what do you think about that, Andrew? Shakur, the Teofimo, we talked about it some time ago. We weren't too pleased with him moving up to 140 when there's plenty of stuff to do at 135. But it seems as though that's where he's going.
Yeah, I mean, look. With Lamont Roach moving up to 140 to take on Pitbull Cruz, that's a significant part of the lightweight division. Like, those are two of the biggest hitters at lightweight moving up. That makes the junior welterweights one of the best divisions in the sport right now. So, sucks for all the younger guys at lightweight that are getting left behind. But the guys at lightweight that are being left behind, they're very young. They can rebuild that division and hopefully make some big fights within themselves. But no, it looks like Roach and Shakur are moving up, and
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, looks like they're moving up, and I'm pleased with the fight with Shakur and Lopez. Those are both excellent talents. I'm not confident that the fight's going to take place until it does. Lopez just seems a little weird to me right now. I don't even like the way he was kind of responding to when they were asking him sign the contract. Oh, yeah, man, it's you guys, man. It's all you guys are not signing. It's like, bro, just say you're going to sign the fucking contract. Like, shut up with all the it's you, not me, you. Oh, where's the belt? I'm surprised you don't have it. They didn't ask about a belt. They said, are you going to sign the fucking contract? It's a simple, you know what I'm saying, Miguel? It's a simple ass question. Like, yeah, motherfucker, I am gonna sign it. What's up? What's up? Where's that? I'll sign it right now. How about that? Not all the bullshit. Then the fact that he was on the internet the other day trying to, hey, Jake Paul, you guys are really cool. What you're doing? Hopefully I could be on the undercard. What the fuck?
Let me read that here real quick, because that shit, when I read that and I was like, oh god. All right, so this is a post from Teofimo Lopez from I think this weekend sometime. He goes, I don't know about anybody else. Clearly you don't. But congratulations to all those in play for the November 14th El Gallo versus Tank event. Of course, that's what they call, or that's what what's his name? Jake Paul calls himself El Gallo. I'd love to fight on their card as another exhibition. I believe it'd be fun and historical. Yeah. And then he tags Netflix and MVP Promotions and State Farm Arena. So, yeah, it seems as though he's interested in fighting on the undercard, or I shouldn't even say fighting, participating on the undercard of Tank and Jake Paul. And, obviously he shows some interest there by posting that on social media. Yeah, that's not a good look. I mean, this is going to be November. So, I mean, there's plenty of time, of course, between now and then, or I should say November to early 2026, where supposedly he's going to face Shakur Stevenson. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not down with it. I don't know. Maybe he just wants to stay busy. Fuck, I don't know. But this is pretty dumb. Yeah, I am a little skeptical that we're going to get this fight in 2026 or at all, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But anyway. That was a weird one, but I mean, when I saw that, I'm like, you know what, I'm down, but I would much rather Shakur stay at 135, because that's what I was hoping for. Another fight announcement, Andrew, PBC's back. We're back, baby. Jermell Charlo versus Errol Spence, and also in early 2026. Chances are it's going to be another Amazon Prime Video pay-per-view. Chances are it's kind of what they do, right? I mean, I doubt they're going to go to the regular Amazon Prime, but Prime Video. But anyway, it turns out that it looks like we're going to get Charlo and Errol Spence now. Unfortunately, we kind of talked about this before. We don't think that Errol Spence is the same guy anymore, right? After that accident, fucked him up, and then on top of that, the ass whooping at the hands of the pound for pound king and the undisputed super middleweight champion, Terence Crawford. I think he's he's a shell of himself. He got in the ring with Fundora after Fundora beat Sue. I think before. I think it was. I forget which one it was. Anyway, point is he got into the ring. Yeah, I think it was before he fought Sue. And then there was. It looked as though we were going to get Spence and Fundora at some point, and for whatever reason, it didn't happen. It looks like somebody didn't allow it, and now Spence. At that time, Spence was out. And now he's going to be back. He's going to be fighting Jermell Charlo, which is the 154. Again, I always get my Charlos confused here, but. I don't know. This is, this reeks of PBC. I mean, obviously it is, but this is one of those kind of fights where it's like, this totally reeks of PBC. But what do you think about this here, Andrew? A shell of a Spence and an inactive Charlo?
Yes. No, this is definitely, look, you guys, I'm a little nervous that this is going to be a sparring match, Miguel, and not really a fight. These are friends.
It's not going to go 12 rounds? I mean, it will be 12 rounds.
It's definitely going to go 12 rounds. It's definitely no one's going to hurt each other. They'll make it look good. They're two professional boxers, but I'm not sure that they're actually in there trying to hurt each other and not just get a handshake and go, let's see best man wins on points. Right? Hopefully they give us that kind of fixed fight and not a totally rehearsed, Spence basically going, hey, man, I got some bills to pay, from rounds 8 to 12, I'll give you so you could get the decision, but can I just make a check? Because that can easily be
Miguel, more than likely what's going to happen.
Hey, oh, fuck yeah. Listen, I'm not paying for this. No. I'm not taking no time out of my day. Like, you guys are too much of friends. Like, this is the fight that the adults always told me when I was young, right? When I was young, the adults always used to go, the sport's fixed, right? Nah, shut up. It's fucking fixed. These guys got cuts. These guys get knocked out. What the fuck you talking about? Those two guys are they're sparring partners, right? Nah, they're not sparring partners. I never believed anything I heard, bro. Until I got into the game and was like, what? Wait a minute. They are sparring partners? Those guys have been friends for 10 years. They're fighting each other. Hey, every time I seen that, it always reminds me back in the days, my uncles, my grandpa's stuff tell me, And now I hear I'm at 45 hearing Spence and Crawford, knowing damn well, or Spence and Charlo, knowing damn well these two guys are fucking friends. They're not enemies. There's not going to be any anger in that ring. They're friends. They're sparring, you guys.
Yeah. And I mean, from Spence's side, it's that conversation that you're talking about, but like to Charlo, or from Spence to Charlo, be like, bro, you know I'm not the same, right? That fucking car is just don't fuck me up. Like, I won't fuck you, man. Take it easy, you know. Every time, look, I've trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right? There are times where these guys are hurt and their fucking legs are, and they go, hey, dude, don't go for my leg, you know, go for my arm. All right, no sweat. Boom, boom. We'll start rolling. Start grabbing. I won't go for his leg. It's no biggie, right? I know better, you know. Sometimes they're trying to heal, but they want to get training in. Hey, that's just how it is. Hey, yeah. I'm sure Spence like, bro, my eye is fucked up. Have you seen it? You know, I got veneers. Yeah, you see my veneers, homie? These are expensive. Don't fuck these veneers up, please. So I suspect that's what we're going to get. And it's unfortunate, but I'm almost positive this is going to end up on some pay-per-view. Or, I mean, it'll be the main event of the pay-per-view because we know how PBC does it. Yeah, that's...
Now, they're definitely... I'm hoping all of these fights come on the same card. The Pitbull, Cruz, and Roach.
The Pitbull, Cruz, and Roach, I've heard is going to be in December. So this one might be, and we kind of suspected, you know, last week that it might even land on some sort of Manny Pacquiao undercard. So and this is what they're saying. If what I'm reading is accurate, we're going to get Spence and Charlo in early 2026. So I don't think they're going to fall.
Yeah, that's garbage then. No, that fight's not going to sell on its own. I'm sorry. Now, if they go Amazon Prime free, that's a different story. Then maybe you'll have a few PBC fans tune in and watch that. But pay-per-view on its own, no, that's a dead in the water. Nope.
Yeah, I certainly hope that's not the case. But when I saw that, I'm like, what, Spence? And I'm
Miguel. We have 3 fights. Are you bringing up the other fight too?
Oh shit, I'm not. You tell me which one we're talking about.
PBC, the fight that was announced this weekend from PBC.
No, let me pull
Andy
it up here.
Ruiz, bro.
Oh, but that wasn't really. I mean, was it? It just said early 20 or like in the making. Or what the fuck did it say? Yeah, no, I mean, Andy Ruiz and Wilder. Yeah.
Yeah, at some point you got to think one of these fights got to get clumped together with Charlo and Spence.
All right.
Your name, right? Roach Pitbull is all PBC. Charlo versus Spence, all PBC, and Wilder versus Ruiz is all PBC. 2 of these fights are gonna be on the same card.
Oh,
Al Heyman would be fucking smart to put all 3 of them on the same card. He really would, because then he would have a pay-per-view legit event that he might make $1 on.
This is what Andy Ruiz posted on his social media or his Instagram. Him and Wilder posing off, and they were actually in Allegiant Stadium. So then the caption was "coming soon," you know, to a ring near you. I mean, take it from what it's worth. This is just again seeing it from, I guess take it with a grain of salt. But that would be. I mean, I don't know which one would be. I assume this one would be the main event, right? The heavy hitters is the heavy main event, and the other ones on the undercard of that. So. That's not a bad idea, but I don't consider this an actual like fight announcement, honestly.
Oh, I do, because Wilder skipped on the last fight. They were definitely working something out. Andy Ruiz is going to be his next fight. I do believe that, because he could have fought on the heavyweight card. Remember
that's right. Yeah. Real baby or steroid baby. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do think they're in the work, and we also have Fundura versus Thurman?
Oh, yeah. That's in October, though. Yeah.
That's in October. So we got PBC's moving right now. They're moving. See if any of these get clumped together. I hope he clumps some of these together.
They better.
Yeah.
Like they're announcing all these fights. We'll start announcing this one. But, I mean, there's no fucking way. They're going to have to stack them. If they still got, and I don't know how many fighters they still have in their roster or under contract, but this long without fights, these guys have to fucking fight. So at some point, they're going to get to the point where they're going to announce some sort of fight card with all of them on there. And it'll be a hot minute before we see the next card, but it'll be all clumped up together again. They have to. There's no way they're going to split it up that much. I don't think so. But anyway, yeah, I would have to assume that some of these that we're talking about are going to end up on the same fight card. Yeah.
Right.
Oh man. But anyway, those are two interesting fight announcements. Shakur, or at least it sounds like Shakur and oh, you know what I was gonna say? And before I forget, I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure if we're gonna get Spence and Charlo after, because I don't remember the specific reasoning, but I'm almost certain there was like some sort of athletic commission problem or something with Spence, which is why he didn't, like, the WBO wouldn't sanction it or something along those lines as to why Spence didn't fight Fundora. Yeah, there's no belt on the line here with Charlo, but I'm not even sure if we're gonna get that, honestly. Like,
right.
We've seen Instagram post or Twitter or something from Spence saying like, yo, I'll come back when I'm ready, y'all. I mean, maybe this is it. Maybe this is a sparring session that he's gonna, whatever it is he's ready for. But anyway, okay, well, that was all we got. That is all we got for today. Nothing more. I mean, I'm sure other news will come up here throughout the weekend. Chances are we'll kick out another show Wednesday, which is what we normally try to do. But besides that, Andrew, was there anything else you wanted to tack onto this fantastic show?
I am going to be interested in the next week or so to see that of the decision of one Floyd Mayweather Jr. We have on the table what is it? There's a possibility we could put together one of the biggest fights boxing's ever seen with what Terence Crawford accomplished this weekend. We've never had a fight, I think, with so much accolades involved. That if Floyd's even wondering, if Floyd's thinking, if His Excellency Turki Ali Sheikh is thinking about putting together if he really wants to make a mark, could we get a Bud versus Money Man? The two last eras. Hey, look at one's 47, the other one's 38, Miguel. He ain't that far off. It's not like he's fighting a 20-year-old. He's right. 38, right?
Right. But Floyd is 47.
He's 47. Hey, Floyd needs money, dog. Floyd needs money. And hey, I'm just saying. Could you imagine the crowd, the front row? Could you imagine the first 3 rows of that fight? We're talking about every celebrity in America. Possibly. It would be the fucking Grammys, the Oscars, the BET Award. It would be all of that in one. The SP Awards. They would be all. The offensive line of the whole Las Vegas Raiders is here. The starting lineup of the Chicago Bulls, the LA Lakers, they're all here. There would be guys taking days off. They'd be like, motherfucker was supposed to pitch tomorrow night. He's here.
Yeah. Ronaldo will be there. Fucking those guys will be there. Yeah.
Yes. Bro. Like, it's on the table. The age doesn't separate these guys.
Well, I don't think it's the separation of the age per se. It's where they're at. Because one dude could be 100, and one dude could be 90. It don't matter the 10 years apart,
Manny came back and in one fight,
but I mean,
turned his fire right back on.
Floyd needs
to come back and win one title, dog. And that whole era that I just told you about, the SPs, the Oscar, they're all showing up. They're all fucking showing up. Floyd needs one title. Give Floyd one performance to make him even given a illusion that he's still the guy that he was 10 years ago.
At 54? I mean, 154 or where? Because
I think 160. I would think it'd be 160.
So, all right, let's take a look at that. Lara comes back and takes the belt from Lara. That's the belt.
No, I don't know what Floyd would do. Floyd might come back, fight at 154, then fight at 160.
I see.
He's got that leverage on him, right? And I know 47 is a lot different. I'm just saying, with Canelo dropping that bomb, you guys, Canelo really set it up last night when he said, "Oh no, Terence is way better than Floyd." Floyd was like, "What?
Yeah,
what?"
Just thinking that shit like, he's way better.
Yeah. Not even close.
Yeah, no comparison.
I'm telling you guys, the age at least gives us an avenue. Let's look at it. Let's throw it at His Excellency to see if Saudi really wants to put on one of the biggest fights boxing would ever generate. That night, I think, would be one of the biggest fights. Especially if Floyd gets a comeback fight and wins a tie, just like Manny. Here's Barrios. Here's Raleigh Romero. Someone easy. Floyd's doing his fucking half step counters. Everything's looking good. Got Max fucking Max being Max on the sidelines.
Like spectacular.
He hasn't skipped a beat.
Yeah.
That's all we need, Miguel, is one of those lines. He hasn't skipped a beat. We're in. So I'm just saying that's the fight that I'm a little interested in. Look, Floyd's talking about coming back. Floyd's talking about bankruptcy. I don't know if boxing's ever been in a position to have two undefeated motherfuckers the way these guys are undefeated. The belts, the resume, the title defenses, the dude.
Yeah. Another Allegiant Stadium. Please no Atlanta. None of that shit.
It's Allegiant Stadium.
Yeah, it's Allegiant fucking stadium.
Allegiant Stadium made a mark last night. That was that was huge, bro. 70,000. Those promoters got 70,000. Those tickets weren't cheap. This wasn't Dallas Stadium where $40 seats up top. Yeah, that's what I want to end with. Could it be? Right. At least whoever does it. Oh, Rick Reno, what the fuck is you doing, bro?
Oh, with his outfit or what?
Oh man, does he have a girlfriend? Does he have a mother? His mother can't tell him that's not the outfit.
Does he have a mirror?
No, hey, look, love Rick Reno. I wish he would dress better, but no. Let's at least get a Ring magazine cover. It shows Floyd in the last two best of their eras. Is it possible? Is it fucking possible? So there you go.
All right. Fair enough. Well, that is going to wrap it up for us here, everybody. We will see you guys. Oh, and just one last thank you, of course, of our subscriber count has gone up quite a bit. So we always appreciate that. I try to bring as much good content as I possibly can. And if anything else pops up here, you best believe I'll have something on there. So thank you so much. And of course, we always want to hear you guys' opinions. So let us know about the show. Let us know what you guys think about the fight and how everything went down. So for my co-host, Andrew, don't get it twisted, Lapache, this has been Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Feed Migs, and this has been the Mad Boxing Show. We will see you guys on Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your week. Peace.